if you recall, we had paid invoices that had been raised by testified trading on 2 days before we went to Masota's office. So this was at Masota's office on the 7th of February. We had paid invoices on the 5th of February, which was the Monday. And on the Wednesday, which was the 7th, he asked me to read it, right? And I read it and I said, this doesn't apply to me. I haven't instructed you. I've already made the payment, because if you read the letter, it first of all is dated the 29th of January 2023.
Yes, that was my question. Did he explain why it was backdated?
He did. He said it was a mistake, right? And he'll fix it. And I'll come on to that in a minute as well, right? That's all he said. He said, look, I read this letter and I went through, pursuant to our tele conversation. I said, but we never had a telephone conversation. I've never spoke to you before. I've never met you before. And he goes, okay.
So
he goes, it's just that.
Mr. Singh, maybe in summary, what did the letter express? The
letter was expressing that I was intending to put a deposit with him, and that he would take my instructions to disperse the funds. But the letter was provided to me, and he was introduced to me after I'd already made payments for invoices that were raised by PACPAT to this firm.
Was there a bit?
Pardon?
Pause there a bit.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I'm saying you pause a bit to allow the magistrate to write what you're saying.
I am very sorry.
It's okay.
I forgot.
Now, following the fact that it was to acknowledge that you were instructing him on the disbursement of funds, did the letter acknowledge the funds that you had paid? That is in regards to funds paid as per the invoice in PMFI A and B.
No. And this is why we had a conversation, right? Because it was like, this letter doesn't represent what we've done. And so he said, look, I've been introduced to this by this gentleman, Daniel. I've known him for a long time. We've worked together before. He's come to see me prior to this.
Let me pause you. Mr. Singh, so that we can have an easier way, kindly let your answer be in response to my question, because if you explain further, we may have to go back and forth. Now, I've asked my question if it captured the amounts that you paid. I'll wish for you to have a look at the document.
250 euros.
711, 250 euros. And as per the attachment, when are these funds acknowledged as per the date on the attachment?
When were they acknowledged? On the 7th of February.
Which year?
2024.
I pray to mark the letter of engagement as PMFI 2B. Now, away from this, you have gone to the office, you've paid the funds. Now, what were you to receive after the payment of the total of 711 to 50 euros? What were you to receive?
Okay, for that, we were to be allowed to take, if you recall previous hearing, we had 31 kilograms of gold stored in my safe, and then there was a consignment for 112 kilograms, which was to be shipped.
Consignment of? Consignment of?
Consignment of?
So there was 112 kilograms of gold, which was to be shipped by freight.
Okay. So now, following this payment, was a shipment done?
No.
Now,
So can I clarify?
yes, you can clarify.
So there was two. There was a 31 kilograms that we were holding as security and collateral for the money paid. So I felt safe paying it, and we were told that we would be allowed to take this with us personally. So there was two of us, myself and Marco, on the 9th of February, which was on the Friday. Hence why this document I signed under duress, really, because it was like we need the money to make sure that all the documentation is ready for you guys to leave on Friday.
Who's that page?
So
Proceed.
yeah, because if you look at the document, right, you know, the way it was written, it didn't represent what was going on. But the explanation was, this is how we do it in Kenya. We need to cover everything, right? So it's all done properly by the bank, etc. So I signed it on the basis that I actually had the 31 kilograms under my control
Okay.
at my safe.
Who's that bit? Because you are aware of where the 31 kilograms are, what of the 112 kilograms? Did you get a chance to see them?
No, I hadn't seen the 112 kilograms. The 112 kilograms was the shipment that Marco had come in 2022 who had seen it. I hadn't.
Now, for purpose of clarification, did you record a statement concerning this?
Pardon? Sorry, say that again.
Did you record a statement concerning what you tell the court today?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Did you record a statement concerning the events that you're giving accounts of today?
Yes.
Now, you know, I don't know if you can.
112 I did see, but not until the 20th of February.
Yes, that is a clarification I want you to make. So, you didn't see it until the 20th of February.
Okay, so on the 9th of February, which is the Friday, having been to Musoto's office on the 7th of February, we were leaving on the 9th, and we were going to take the 31 kilograms with us, and the 112 was going to be shipped, which I hadn't seen, but the 31 kilograms covered everything that I had paid and Marco had paid before, which was 400,000 euros, if you recall.
Yes.
So we were going to take the 31 kilograms with us. So on the Friday morning, we went to my safe, we took out the 31 kilograms, and we went to Daniel's office.
Was there a bit?
Was it?
Proceed.
When we got to Daniel's office, there was all the gentlemen there that are sitting in front of you in the dock, and various others. There was custom officers, there was security. They're all recorded on the telephone, which I guess the DCI will take care of later. So at that point, that 31 kilograms was consigned in one box. And we were going to split it into two, so I took 15 and Marco took 16, or whatever the ratio was.
Was there a bit?
Was it?
Proceed.
So the process then proceeded with opening the 31 kilogram box. There was a piece of paper in the 31 kilogram box which we had signed, which showed that it hadn't been touched. So they had verified that it hadn't been touched because it was locked and sealed, so to make sure that nobody had touched it. We then opened it and we proceeded to split it into two smaller blue metallic boxes where we stored roughly 15 in one and 16 in another.
Kindly don't, be mindful not to repeat yourself because that you had stated.
Pardon?
Don't repeat yourself. So you're saying,
I'm sorry.
yes, you had already split between 15 and 16 each.
Yeah, roughly 50. Okay, so these boxes were sealed, and I was under the impression that we were going to take them with us because that's our collateral, right? So it doesn't leave us. So I felt, okay, this is ours. We will take it with us to the airport. What we want.
Did you go with it to the airport?
No,
What
because
happened?
So there were the custom officers there, or at the time I thought they were custom officers, and they said we need to produce the documentation, and they already had the documentation actually. That we need to produce a clearing certificate, which they said we do at the airport. I said, okay, we'll come with you. We'll keep hold of the blue boxes. And they said that won't be possible. We have to go through a route which by we will do the processing and we will produce the clearing certificate. So I said, I'm not comfortable with this because now you're asking us to separate from the blue box.
Ultimately, did you agree to it?
Yes, when they showed us the documents and after I spoke to Frank, who we trusted, and to Daniel, who he had, if you recall from a previous conversation, they said these people were honest and reliable. And I felt uncomfortable. Frank said, trust me. Daniel said, trust me. We will meet you at the airport with the product. As uncomfortable as I was, we were leaving in the afternoon. We left the boxes with them.
Okay. Was there a bit?
Proceed.
Now, when you're saying that they showed you documents for these 31 kilograms, did they issue you with any of the documents?
No, they said they need them when they go to clearance, but I said, I want them. They said, no. I said, well, I want to take photographs of them. I insisted on taking photographs, so I took photographs of them.
Can you remember which documents? Sorry.
Yes.
A minute.
So I took a photograph.
Hold on a bit. Do you remember which documents that you photographed?
Yes, I took a photograph of certificate of ownership dated the 9th of February 2024.
Certificate of?
Certificate of ownership.
Yes.
And it was in my name and Mr. Marco Colombo's name.
Dated?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Dated? When was it dated?
It was dated the 9th of February 2024.
Okay.
And it said 31 kilograms of gold.
Which other document did you photograph?
Yes, I did photograph.
Which other one?
The next one I photographed was called a certificate of origin. Also dated the 9th of February. Also in the name of myself with my passport number and Mr. Marco Colombo Conti, again with his passport number.
Proceed. The next document?
The next document was called the Commissar Simplified Ownership Certificate. And these were all stamped by the various authorities. This particular one was stamped by East African Community Revenue, East African Community Common Market for Eastern and South Africa and Camisa. This was also dated the 9th of February, and again it was in my name and Mr. Colombo's name.
What was the issue that they were trying to sort regarding the documentation?
I don't know what Daniel said because he wasn't speaking to me. I can only relay what Marco was telling me, but what Frank said to me was, because I was speaking to Frank, is that they provided a wrong or maybe a fraudulent document that they shouldn't have provided. Basically, the document they provided purported to show 370 kilograms. I don't know what the document was, but we had only got 31 kilograms and 112 kilograms, and we were being told that the 112 and the 31 kilograms doesn't correspond to this 370 kilogram document that they provided. And we were confused.
Who's the bit?
Proceed.
So what solution was proposed?
They weren't preparing a solution. So what they suggested separately was that you should catch the flight. And I was telling Frank, I'm not going to catch the flight. I'm not going to catch it. We're going to resolve this. I'm not leaving. And he was telling me that it's not going to be resolved today. So I said, well, I'm not leaving. And what happened was we got closer and closer and closer to a time the plane was going to depart, where in the end, the staff that are responsible for onboarding came to the lounge calling for myself and Marco saying, you know, Mr. Conte.
Did you ultimately board the plane?
Ultimately, we boarded the plane because Mr. Catetti said, look, you need to get on the plane and we'll he will sort this out, he said to me.
That is Mr. Frank Catetti.
Frank Catetti, yeah, because Marco was speaking with Daniel.
Okay, who's
Okay.
there? Who's there, bit?
Proceed.
So you were departing, heading to where?
We were going to Malpensa in Italy because that's where the product was going.
And now the point that you're leaving Frank with the rest with the consignment, what had they promised in regards to when the consignment will get to the destination you were at?
He didn't, right? What Frank said was that he would take responsibility for sorting this out. So, shall I carry on?
So was there any estimated period which you were to expect the consignment?
Not that Friday afternoon, evening when we were leaving, right? Mm-hmm. So I contacted, when we arrived on Saturday morning, which was the 10th of February, because that was the 9th, we put a call in to the gentleman that Marco knew who served with him in the armed forces, which was Giovanni and Gabriele. We explained to Giovanni and Gabriele what had happened. This was while we were still at the airport, because I had an onward flight and I thought I might as well go back to Ireland in the UK. So we spoke to Giovanni and Gabriele, and they immediately arranged a call with Mr. Catetti, Frank Catetti. Now, surprisingly...
I know there are a lot of circumstances, but I wish when you're giving the evidence, give the key issues so that, because the testimony is quite lengthy. Yes. So what of material was said during the call when Frank was added to the call?
Okay, so he said that he would take responsibility for sorting this out as we had instructed him, and he had taken, the contract to do this. He would liaise with the other party sitting there next to him, and he would get back to us imminently to do this. I also endeavoured to contact Daniel Ogot on the same day. He did send a message to me saying that I'm liaising with your agent, and I will get back to you. That was also on the same day.
Did they communicate any timelines as to the delivery of the product?
Ultimately, yes. Mm-hmm. So on the Monday, the 12th of February, Mr. Agot contacted me and said he was working on the issues, and potentially what had happened is that because of that mistake on the Friday with the wrong documentation, his license had been suspended, and that there was now a fine which needed to be paid within 7 days.
Who's their bid? Now, at this point, who is this who's being, because there are a lot of parties, who is this being fined?
So he's saying that the fine had arisen, and he was basically.
Who is this? You're saying he says that.
Oh, sorry. So what happened was that I'm talking about Daniel now. I'm speaking to Daniel Ogot,
Okay.
and what he said was that he or his company had been issued a fine
By?
in the sum of $1,562,000, and his license had been suspended.
Pause there a bit. You say how much? The fine was how much?
$1,562,000
And the fine was imposed by who?
by the Kenya Revenue Authority.
Did he qualify how the KRA got to this sum of 1.562?
Yeah, he's saying that it was a 20% penalty. I think he said it was a 20% penalty. It was a penalty, but I believe it was a 20% penalty.
Oh, 20% of what?
20% of the value of the goods.
Say that the fine, what did he tell you regarding payment, what he had been told regarding payment of the fine and failure to reach?
And so he said that if we don't make the payment within 7 days, then there is every chance that the consignment will be confiscated. And I said, well, 7 days ain't going to work. And it's not going to happen just like that.
So what was their bid? In regards to this fine now, what was he seeking from you? Was he just informing you?
No, he was seeking assistance because he said we don't have those sort of funds to clear it, and obviously we will work out how to take care of this. So on the Wednesday, which was 2 days later, on the 14th of February, he came back and said, look, the revenue will allow us 28 days to pay this fine, so we've got until the 14th of March to pay it. And I said, well, actually, what is it that you're going to do? So he explained that his client, Quantum, the gentleman Alan there, he had another consignment in the country, which was 1,500 kilograms.
Was there a bid? Was there a bid?
Proceed.
Proceed.
He had a consignment of 1,500 kilograms, and he was prepared to separate this and provide me with 150 kilograms as collateral for all the expenses incurred so far, and for helping pay the fine of $1,562,000.
Was that?
Proceed.
So, and what was your response to this proposal?
It was like, okay, we need to sure that this time, there's a contract that covers this, is tight, and that we make sure that nothing like this occurs again. So I said, I will consider it. So Daniel then sent me some document saying what he thinks it was, and then between us, we tried to put something together, but ultimately he said it will be the lawyer, Masota, who will finalize this contract. That's what we discussed.
Was there a bid?
Proceed.
Was there a contract now drafted to that effect?
Yes, there was.
When was it dated?
It was dated the 20th of February.
Confirm, is it before you today?
Can't quite see it clearly, but it was titled gold transactions contract in relation to the penalty notice issued by Kenya Revenue and Customs Authority for the 1-2 kg consignment presently held at Customs Warehouse at Nairobi Airport.
Your counsel can confirm that it's a fake document. And I'm going to mark it as PMA 53. Now, prior to engaging in sorry. Sorry, just a minute. Now, prior to this contract being drafted, was there any evidence that you had that there were instructions to the council to draft it?
Was there any instructions to council to draft them?
Yes.
I know Daniel recorded that he had sent it to Masota, and there is a message from him that he had sent it. I myself sent an email to Masota.
Maybe let me put it a bit simpler.
That document. That document. Okay, now I'll get to that document. But before we get to that document, right?
I need you to follow systematically my questions because there's a reason why I'm asking that. Because we've introduced a contract and there are documents prior to that.
Right, so that document, yes, that was produced on the 20th of February in Masoto's office
What
in the afternoon.
What is the title of the document?
It again says, Letter of Engagement for Legal Services and Escrow Account Management. And it's dated the 20th of February 2023 again.
Okay. You're free to mark the letter of engagement for 20th February 2023 as PMA 53B. The first one can go as the contract as A.
Right, stipulated that provided I had 150 kilograms collateral and I had it in my possession and I had the appropriate documentation which showed that I owned it and that it was separated completely from the 1,500 kilograms, because remember Marco had a problem right in the beginning when they said the 112 was a consignment that was together.
Who's there?
So the 100, pardon?
Who's there, bit?
Okay.
Proceed.
So I wanted complete ownership, both legal and equitable. I wanted to have its certificates of non-criminal origin. I wanted to see the fine and the documentation for the $1,562,000 that had to be paid as a fine from the KRA. It's all in the contract.
Proceed.
I wanted all of that before I would make any payment.
All right. Now,
right, that's I'm just summarizing, or we can go through the contract.
No. I want you to put it in summary the way you have done. So, pursuant to this demands that you had made on your end, was any of it fulfilled?
Yes. Yes. So I'm glad you asked me that question. So on the morning of the 20th, when I came back to Kenya, we went to Daniel's office. And there, when we went, there were a lot of people. There was security, there was customs, there was a police car, and these people had, guns, so it was all authentic. We went into the office, we were met, and summarizing it, me and Marco were shown the 112 kg consignment. We were shown the 31 kg consignment, which was still in its blue boxes and had our original signatures on it. And we were shown the 150 kg consignment as well. So now, in this one room, we had the 112 kg consignment, we had the 31 kg consignment, which was bound with the 112 kg consignment, and we also had the 150 kg consignment that they said they would give me as collateral.
Pause there a bit.
Proceed.
Proceed. Yeah.
So we, and at that time we also had Mr. Katetti was there. Gabrielle had come from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, and we had taken Mr. Giovanni with us as well this time. So
Pause there a bit.
we had,
Proceed.
Proceed.
yes. So on this occasion there was us with Mr. Katetti. Mr. Katetti had brought in what he said was last time the independent assayers from the mineral mines department to do the assay on the 150 kg. They proceeded to do the assay in front of us, verifying that it was gold, and we had brought with us from Italy 6 metallic boxes in which to put 25 kg into each box.
Proceed.
Proceed.
And we proceeded to do that, right? Put the 25 kg in the box with customs there, with the security officers there, and we proceeded to close the boxes, and customs provided 6 seals, 1 for each box. And the seals were put onto each box, and it was then shrink wrapped in black shrinkage paper.
What of documentation?
Right, so, and I think it's important now to talk about that. Before we go, we took those 6 boxes with the escort of customs and the police to my safe. When we got to my safe, it was deposited. All 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
All 6 of them. They're all filmed. It's all on the evidence. It's all there. It was then we went to Masotta's, and this is where this document was produced, and this is where the contract we went through. Now, in the contract, I need to say this, because in the contract, it states exactly what I want before I make a payment. Whereas these gentlemen, including Masotta, were saying the payment immediately. I said, no, we had agreed that I would require this documentation, and I'd require this in my ownership before I make a payment. Mm-hmm. But in the contract, they proceeded to write immediately anyway. But I said, we've got until the 14th. That's when the fine is going to pay. And that's until I have the documentation, I'm not making a payment. So we went through the document that Masotta had written, which was similar to the previous one. And I pointed out the errors. I don't like it, the mistake. He goes, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. I said, I'm only going to sign.
When you say document, you're referring to the contract?
No, I'm referring to his contract, which is a letter of engagement.
Oh, the letter of engagement.
Because I was refusing to sign it first, right? Particularly because it had a authority to disperse funds there attached to it, dated also the 20th of February 2023, even though within the body of the text it says he was appointed on the 20th of February 2024. So I said, I'm not signing this.
So this disbursement to authority to disburse funds was to the tune of how much?
It didn't say to the tune of how much, but basically, if you look at it, it was for a whole amount, $1,562,000, because if you look in there, upon deduction of your legal charges and costs to the tune of $156,200, which is a 10% of the value of the fine. And I said, I'm not signing this because this doesn't make sense, right?
Pause there a bit.
Proceed.
You're not to mark the authority to disperse funds dated 20th February 2023 as PMFI 3C.
Proceed.
Now, so what you have made your demand in regards to the documents, because you had up to the 14th of March as per what they said, customs said. So did they avail these documents?
Okay, so let me just carry on, right? So, but you noticed that I did sign it, and it's got my fingerprint on it, right? I signed it because in the end, Masako agreed that you're not going to make the payment, right? Until you've got all your documents. And I said, yeah. So he goes, what difference does it make to you then? If you sign this, I can't disperse anything. You will only make the payment when you've got everything you want, which is in the contract. I said, okay, fair enough. I said, yeah, I'm not going to make the payment. And I didn't agree with the 10%, by the way. I said to him that was scandalous. But he says, you're not paying it. It's the client, it's PACFAD who's paying it. And I said, it doesn't make sense to me.
All right.
Because...
Now, to take you back just a little bit, the contract for 20th was, who are the parties? Who are the parties for the contract?
It was the seller, which was Quantum Minerals, represented by Alan Lukaska. It was Asianic, represented by me.
Slowly. Again, the first one was...
Sorry. It was Quantum Minerals SPRL, represented by...
Again,
represented...
please come again on the first party. Be a bit more audible.
Quantum Minerals.
Proceed.
Represented by who?
Represented by Alan, is written Lukaska, Madvita, Alan, right? It's the gentleman sitting there in the middle.
The one in the middle.
One in the middle, next to Agot on my left and Mr. Kateti on my right.
Now, the second party was?
Was Asianic, which is our company, and represented by me.
And in this contract, you are who?
Sapinder Singh, the director.
No, you see the first one, Quantum Minerals were the sellers. So what about you, Asianic?
Oh, Asianic was the buyer.
Okay. And the third party?
And the third party was PACFAD Trading, who was the agent instructed by the seller to make sure.
Again?
Repeat the third party.
The third party was PACFAD Trading Limited, represented by Daniel Agot, and he was the agent instructed by the seller, Quantum Minerals.
All right.
Proceed.
Now, take us to the documents. What did they supply you with the documents that you had demanded to be supplied with prior to payment?
Yes, slowly. And that's why it took that long before I made the payment.
Okay. So which documents did they give?
So they provided ultimately the sorry, so this document was confirming that the consignment that Daniel had mentioned in conversation with me a week earlier, that Alan or Quantum had 1,500 kilograms in as a consignment. It's a splitting of that to 150 and 1,350, and the 150 kilograms was completely independent of this original consignment.
Then I pray to mark the separation of consignment application to KRA from KRA dated 19th February 2024 as PMA 54B.
Proceed.
So just a minute. Which other document?
He also provided then it was called the payment slip for the fine itself, which was again generated by the Kenya Revenue Authority, issued to Testified Trading Limited, care of Quantum Minerals, the payer being Daniel Ogotti. This was dated the 12th of February 2024, and it showed the expiry date of when payment was required as the 14th of March 2024.
So still gonna be. Seeing when is it dated?
Pardon?
When is the last document you've identified for the fine?
It's called the payment slip, and it's issued by Kenya Revenue Authority, and it's dated the 12th of February 2024.
And I know it is in the list of documents that was applied. Okay, to mark it as PMA 54C. Proceed.
Okay, so they provided this, and on this was provided. These were shown but not provided to me on the day, right, when the contract was signed. But I didn't get copies of these or the originals until subsequently because I was asking for. So the invoice number is P012024.
Proceed.
It was raised on the 20th of February.
For how much?
For 1,438,460 euros.
You said it's dated 20th February?
Yes, dated the 20th of February 2024.
I'm happy to mark it as PMA 54D.
Again, it was payable to Masota Obunga and Associates Advocates.
Which other document was supplied? Was issued?
Pardon?
Which other document?
Other documents?
Was there any other document?
Oh, yeah, they were, but they came piecemeal.
Yes, so that we can confirm.
So-
Did you before you made payment? Did you receive all the documents?
Did I receive all the documents? Yes.
Then let's go through them.
Right. Okay. So, let's have a look. So the documents, I can't remember which date it was, but it was towards the end of February because I still hadn't paid. Mr. Agot and his colleagues, Alan and his cousin Lemon, they came over to the hotel and they showed me the ownership certificates, because these are documents that you have, I don't have.
Yes, I need you to take us through those documents. So there was the ownership certificate.
Right, so there was the ownership certificates, right, for the 150 kg. There was a certificate of origin for the 150 kg.
Sorry, ownership certificate?
So I was more concerned with the 150 kg because I needed all of that in my possession. So they showed me a copy of the certificate of ownership for the 150 kg.
You're going to mark the certificate of ownership for 150 kg as PMFI 4E.
And it had a reference 099 255 7712 2024.
The next document?
They showed me a copy of the original certificate of origin, and it had a reference, I believe, of EAC REF colon V928611.
V9?
628.
No, V9?
V928 611.
This was certificate of origin.
Correct.
For how many kgs?
Now he only showed me the copies.
For how many kgs?
150 kg.
And I pray to mark it as PMFI 4F. The other document?
Okay, so for the 150 kg there was the certificate of ownership and the certificate of origin, which was the most important ones. You have the originals because you required them, right? So I'm trying to remember what else he showed. I think those were the two that I wanted, which was the ownership was in mine. We had the contract. He'd shown me, if you go through the contract,
Now,
he provided copies.
Just to help you understand, they are facing charges of forgery. So it is important to mention all these documents. So you can refer to your statement. You can request to refer to your statement if you don't recall which other document that was supplied to you.
Which other documents were provided for the 150 kg? Saying, make the payment, we've got problems, we've got charges, we've got dummerage, we've got various charges going on. So I said, I need the documents. And plus, I explained to Daniel on the 3rd of March that I'm not going to send any money because I'm not happy with the escrow agreement, which was drawn on the 20th of February. So I said, I'm not happy with that.
Going to the material issue, were the documents supplied to you?
They were, but we need to go through the process of how they were supplied. It's very important.
Now, you say that initially they were shown to you. So when were they supplied to you?
So the ones that I've just related to 150 kilograms, they were supplied to me by the customs officer at Feroda House on the 12th of March.
Which year?
2024.
You were in company of who when you received the document?
Mr. Katetti and Daniel Lagat. They took me to Feroda House on the 12th because I insisted on verifying the fine. It was from customs. I insisted on checking the documentation. I wanted the original certificates. And so they said, well, we have to take you to customs. And so they arranged to take me to customs at Feroda House, which was done on the morning of the 12th of March.
Okay. So now the deadline.
But we missed one important thing which is related to this, if I may.
Okay.
The document that was signed at Masotta's on the 20th of February, I explained both to Masotta and to Mr. Agot, I'm not going with this. I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable with the document. I don't like the way it's constructed. It doesn't make reference to the 1562. It doesn't make reference to the gold. I'm not happy. So that document was redrafted. A new document was replaced it on the 3rd of March. Actually, it was the 4th of March, but we drafted it on the 3rd of March.
Hold on.
And there is emails, right, pertaining to this, which show that this was what was done.
So what precise document was redrafted? Because there was a letter of engagement, there was also a contract.
Right, so in this one, the whole thing was redrafted. So there was a letter of engagement.
Hold on a bit. Dated?
It's dated correctly this time. It's dated the 3rd of March 2024, although that's a Sunday, and we actually went to the office on a Monday morning, which was the 4th of March.
And I put
So that's a Sunday, and was witnessed by Mr. Conti. This was done on the 4th in Masotta's office.
And I put to mark the state argument.
Now it's important.
Escrow argument as PMFI 5B. Now, the difference between this contract and the other one, PMFI.
Yeah, because this contract specifically related to the 1562 transfer. It specifically related to the gold. It specifically related to when the money can be dispersed. And if you look at the letter, I said, I'm not paying no 10%. I don't care what you do with CapPad. So the 10% was removed. And then there was another 10% that if you look at the previous letter dated the 20th, you're saying, if you ask for your funds to be refunded, then we will deduct 10%. I said, no, you won't. You will, if I ask for the funds to be refunded, you will refund all of them.
How's that it?
So there was difference between the letters of engagement then. So I said, the 20th is rescinded, it is no longer valid. This is the one that now regulates the transfer of the 1562 fine. And so we all signed it on the 4th of March in his office.
Now, when you are signing this, it's important. Now, the parties in this case, in this escrow agreement, who are the parties?
In the escrow agreement, the parties in the escrow agreement is the solicitor, PatVat Trading and Asianic, and PatVat Trading is acting as the agent on behalf of Quantum Minerals.
So PatVat, Asianic, and the solicitor.
Yes.
Now, are you aware if there were any so as to authenticate the parties present? If there were any,
Pardon?
so as to authenticate the parties present during the signing of the contract, were there any documents or identification documents that were
Yes.
attached?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. All right. And this is how would you identify the document?
The document would say request for telegraphic transfers. Overview of request for telegraphic transfers. And there's also a Citibank statement showing that it went out.
And I pray to mark the two documents, the Citibank request for telegraphic transfer.
Yes, yes.
You said Citibank.
Citibank, yes.
For telegraphic transfer together with the
It says so.
statement. As PMFI 17A and B respectively. Now for the account for the account at Citi, it's at Citibank. It's under whose name?
It's under my personal name.
Mm-hmm. And the one for Bank of Ireland?
That was under Asianic.
Asianic.
And I'm the sole shareholder of Asianic.
Okay. Now,
How many more minutes do you need to count?
you have 3 minutes. I'm almost done.
We know
Wonderful.
minutes in the terms.
Now, what do you kindly maybe in finality, this offense, the period during which this started to the end of it, you would say it was between which period to which period?
Sorry, I missed that.
When the event started taking place, this offense when it took place, you would say it took place between which period to which period, including the period which you sent money? The entire period for this to occur.
The entire period would have started with Mr. Conti in June 2022, because that's what it was related to, and it continued until July 2024, when they were still trying. Even after that, they were still trying. I mean, in June, on the 15th, 16th, and 17th of June, they were still trying to get $2.5 million for this 150 kilograms that they had taken off me on the 30th of March.
Sorry, come again on with clarity. The period is from which period to which period?
So the period that this whole scheme started would have been with Mr. Conti.
No, in regards to you. In regards to you.
Or just to me?
Yes.
Just to me?
Yes.
It would have started in January 24, where we contacted, or Mr. Catetti was put in touch with myself and Mr. Colombo, Conti, and then it's continued. The last conversation I had with Masota was in October last year, October 24.
Okay. You know, it will only. At what point did you discover the truth?
Sorry. I discovered the truth in May 24, when the revenue, early June, late May, probably early June 24, when the revenue told me that the offices did not exist and the documentation was all fraudulent.
All right. Now, you've confirmed that you did not know them prior. That would be all for this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Mario, how many minutes do you need to require?
It will be quite long. We can